What's up, guys? So in today's video we are going to be building this timeline component or timeline section using React and vanilla CSS. So if you are in the Web3 space, you might be familiar with this kind of stuff, or if you want to build your portfolio, you can just change this headline to your experience and just add the different type of experience you have in form of a timeline. But these are subjective though. So basically this is just it. So, and it's also responsive. So if I shrink this down, you can see that on mobile this line gets stacked at the left, while on desktop it changes as the screen gets bigger. Alright guys, so let's dive right into the video. So I have Vscode open and I have some files already on it which I'm going to quickly run through. So I'm using Vite as my build tool. So if you want to follow along and you don't have it installed, what you can just do is you make sure you run npm create Vite at latest, if I can spell latest very well, but make sure you have node.js installed for you to be able to run npm. So just type this and specify the paths you want it. So if you already have a folder open, you can just use the period sign to create the project inside the default folder you're in. Then it should give you a couple of instructions which are basically easy to follow. So once you are done with that, you should bring it to this boilerplate. And another thing is that it is going to open on, I think the port is 437 something. I've forgotten what the port is, but if you want to change it to port 3000, you can just come here and specify the server object and change the port to 3000, whatever port you want to use. And I already have a component folder. I created the component folder which I have the data I'll be using. So it's basically an array of objects with ID, stage, and details. So we have about 5 of them. Hotels, the app file is just on right here. The index, I just basically brought in the fonts from Google Fonts or fonts.google, and I just add a reset. So that's just it. And the asset is just empty, or we just have this React SVG. Alright, the first thing we're going to do right now is to go to our components folder and create a roadmap file, a roadmap.jsx file. I'll quickly do RAFCE. So in case if you don't know what this is basically React snippet. So if I say ES7, I guess that's it, yeah. So ES7 React Redux. So if you install it, you'll be able to create a quick boiler plate of your React code. So once we've created this, let's just import it into our app. Say import roadmap and just get rid of this one and pass it right here. So this is not running because we stopped our server. So let's quickly do an npm run dev again. So it's showing right here. So we'll close this app file because we might not come back to that place again. So inside this roadmap file, we'll create a container class, and inside that container class we'll create a section with a class roadmap, and inside this roadmap we'll create an h1. Let's just make this an h1. Say here is our roadmap. This should be roadmap. Okay, cool. Then under the h1 we're going to create the timeline. So that should be inside another div. So we say roadmap underscore timeline. So if you don't know why I'm adding this underscore, is basically a bare method that I just decided to use. So you can change this to whatever you want. You can make it by adding one hyphen or two hyphens, but I just decided to use this bare method. So inside the timeline div, we're going to create a line, which was that line you were seeing on the demo. So say roadmap underscore line. So inside this, okay, this will actually be the container to make sure this doesn't go out of the flow. So we'll just leave it like this, and under it we'll basically get our data, and I believe I called it roadmap data. Okay, so we say import roadmap, if I can spell correctly, roadmap data from, yeah, this one. So basically want to map over it, then we just say the roadmap data.map, and we get the item for now, and inside it want to create another component. I'll call that component roadmap item. So this is basically what we want to do. So before we do this, let's just quickly pass in some things. So let's give this a key, and we'll set it to item.id. So essentially, why are we giving this a key? Basically want React to know whenever we make changes to our data file. So if we change this one now, it's going to look over this and update it based on the key that is being passed right here. So we're not seeing this right now because we don't have a map item. So create that quickly. So say road map item gsx, quickly do rfce, save this, then we'll go back and just import it right here. So we save. Now you see that it's coming through. So we have 5 of them, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we want to basically display the data. So the first thing to do is that if we go back to the file, you see that we have stage and details, and you see that this details is inside an array, which means we're also going to map over it. So but for now, let's just say the stage should be item.stage, then the details should be item.details. Alright, cool. So let's head over to our roadmap item and just destructure, add curly brackets, and passing the things we'll just basically passing this as props. So we are passing this as props to the map roadmap items. So we structure it by adding the squigly brackets and just bringing everything. So we say stage and details. So this is where JavaScript actually shines, because now we're not getting an autocomplete, so we don't even know which primitive types are these or where they are coming from. So that's just a side note. In case if you want to build a larger project that involves this kind of stuff, it's good to use TypeScript. Okay, that being said, let's just inside this div, we're going to create a class, and we'll give this class road map item, and inside the road map item we'll get the marker, and the marker is essentially the round circle we saw. So we say create another div and give it a class of road map item, then we're still maintaining the ben method and add the marker to it. And I said this is the ball, so we don't necessarily have to add something inside. Then next is the content. So we say roadmap and add item underscore content. So inside this content now, we'll bring in the stage. So we'll make that stage like an history. I'll give it a class of roadmap item and stage. Then we'll pass in the stage right here. So we'll save. See, the stage is coming through. So under this, we'll create the essentially want to display these details. And like I said, this is inside an array, which means we are going to map over it. So we'll just create a UL with a class of roadmap, roadmap item, and we say details, yeah. Then inside it, we'll get the details and essentially map over it. So we'll say details, and we use the index to actually track the specific details we are on, in case if we make changes by adding more details to it or by removing. So we say li, I will give this a key of the index, and we'll also give this a class name of roadmap. Can't spell roadmap today. Item underscore detail. Then inside it, we'll just pass in the detail. So this should be details because I'm mapping over, and this should be detail. So if we save, you see that everything is coming nice as we want. So we'll come back to this, because should I do that right now? Because we essentially want the first one on desktop to be on the left, and then the second one to be on the right. So let's quickly do that right now. So for us to be able to do that, basically we have to just come back to our roadmap component and add an index to it, and we'll call this is even and check. So we say if the index modulo 2, so if the remainder when the index is divided by 2 is 0, we want to do a particular thing. In our case, we want to leave this one and push this next one to the right. So that being said, let's just pass in this even back to our roadmap item. So we say it's even right here, and this class name now, we'll get, okay, so for better understand, let's just leave it for now. When we want to style it, we'll just pass in this so that we'll see it in more practical way. So let's go back to our index.css and style this right up. So we'll get the body and we'll bring in the font family of Poppins, and the default should be, or the fallback should be sans serif. Then we'll give this a background color of RGB. This should be 15, and this should be 15 too. First, we need to make the color white. Alright, cool. So the next thing to do is to get rid of these buttons. There's some buttons right here. So if I get the line, add the margin left of 3 rem, you're going to see these bullet points right here. So we need to get rid of them by saying list start type of none. Cool. So we need to add spacing to our container. So grab the container class and add a padding inline for the left and right of 1 rem. I'll give it a max width of 100 pixels and add a margin inline of auto. So in case if you don't know what margin inline and padding inline does, is that basically is a CSS logical properties that basically takes the left and the right properties. So padding inline is basically left and right, while padding block is basically top and bottom. So if we open this now, you can see that it's stopping right here. So the max width is from here to wherever 100 pixels ends. So now we get the roadmap and we'll add the padding block. Let's just make this a padding block of 2 rem. So top and bottom. Alright, cool. So we grab the H1 and give this a magic bottom of, let's say, 1 rem for now. Okay, then we'll center it on the screen and let's still bump up the font size. So let's just say 2.5 rem. It's too big. Let's make it 2.3, 2.2. Okay, then the next thing to do is, if we head over to back to the roadmap component, we want to start styling from here now. So grab this roadmap timeline and just add a period to this and position this relative, because we're going to position the line absolute. So this line now will say roadmap line and we'll say position should be absolute. The top should be 0, left should be 0.2 rem, then the height should be 100%. So you should take the height from this stage 1 down to wherever the stage ends. Then the width, let's make it 4 pixels. That's how thick we want it to be. Then let's bring in the background color of Rebecca purple. So you see it right here. So don't worry if it's overlapping the text. We're going to fix that very soon. So for the roadmap item, yes, we're done with this for now. Let's close that out. well as this one. So for the roadmap item, now we see the roadmap item and add a margin bottom of 2 rem. So essentially just this is a roadmap item, this one. So you just add in a margin bottom of 2 rem. Then we'll see how the position of relative to it, because we'll be positioning some things absolute. It's not just some things, we want to just position the marker, which is the circle, so that it should be relative to its parents. So we get the roadmap item and grab the marker. So if you are using, just a side note, if you are using SAS, you don't necessarily need to write this again. Just typically, I think it's going to work if we do it here, because I think it's supported now. So if we say marker, and let's just say a width of 20 pixels, height of 20 pixels, and the background color of still Rebecca purple. Did it work? Guess it didn't work. So I don't know if it's a support for it, but if you do this on CSS, on SAS rather, which is SCSS, it should work just fine. So let's just bring this out and change this back to roadmap item marker. So you can see that this is coming through. So what we need to do is to position it absolute, then we'll add a left of negative 0.2 rem, then we'll give this a z-index of 1 to be at the top at all times. Then lastly, we'll also add a, let's just do it here and say what is this called again? A border radius of 50%. Okay, cool, not bad. All right, so the next thing to do right now is to actually style the content, which is this right here. So in case if you know, let me highlight. So this is what we want to style right now. So grab this and add the content to it. So first of all, let's give it a background color of RGB 63, 63, and 63. So the colors are coming through, while the padding of 1 rem inside it. Cool. Then while the margin left of 1.5 rem, then also add the border radius of 0.5 rem. Give this a max width of 100%. So I should take 100% of the width. I think this is looking quite nice. So I think we should just leave it like this. Yeah, it's okay. So what we need to do is to style this stage right here. So grab this again and just add the stage to it, and say font size should be 1.2 rem. Okay, and let's add a margin bottom of 0.5 rem, so that I should add this little space at the bottom. So we want to still add space here too, and I believe I called it roadmap detail. Yeah, so the li, we'll just grab this one, change this to detail, and still let me just copy this and save. Okay, so this is not bad. if we open it now, you can see that the max width is the 100 pixel we gave it. All right, cool. So now we want to style the or add media query. So say media query, and you can set this to wherever you want, but I will set mine to start from 768 pixels. So when the screen gets to 768, so let's just quickly demo it. So say body display none. You can see that this is already at 768. So when we come less than that, it should appear. But once it's above that, so we'll just leave it somewhere here and get rid of this. So we want to do some things when we actually hit 768 pixels. So the first thing to do right now is to get the roadmap line. I believe it's the line. Yeah, it's the line, and we'll add the left of 50%. Let's just try 50%, but I believe that should start in the middle. Okay, let's leave it at 52, and I should just make this full screen. Yeah, so let me just make this full screen. Let me leave it at 52. Okay, so now let's go next to the roadmap item marker. So the marker is essentially this, and we'll do the left will be 51 percent. I'm saying pixels. Okay, so you can see that it's not centered properly, so you just have to just do a little tweak. So let's just add 0.3 to this, and it's where we want it to be now. Okay, cool. So you don't necessarily need to make this add this index to this, because we're going to be breaking this and moving the even ones to the right and leaving the odd ones on the left side. So what we'll do now is to actually still bump up the size of the stage. So let's make it obvious and add like a bigger font size to it. Okay, so this is coming through. So now what we want to do is to head back to our roadmap and this. So what we want to do is that we want to check if we are on the even column. So we'll get rid of this roadmap item and we'll pass in a curly brackets and add template literal, because we're going to be adding basically JavaScript to do some checking. So we'll still pass in the roadmap item, and now we'll check. So we see if it's even, then show the not necessarily show, but let's just do something. So we'll add the class of roadmap item even, else, you guessed it, road map item odd. Okay, now that we have this in place, nothing should happen, everything should still stay the same. But if we go back to our CSS and go back to our media query now, we can come down here and say roadmap item, and remember we gave this, well, so let's first get the odd ones and add the display of flex to it. Okay, then we'll align items to flex start. Justify content should be flex start as well. Okay, cool. Then for the content inside it for the odd one. So we just take this again and basically target the content that is inside or that is styled for this odd item, odd roadmap item class. So set the margin left to 0 and we'll give this a width of 45% and save this. Okay, you can see that this is coming right as we want it. Cool. Then what we have to do is that we just grab this and we just change this to even. I will make this margin left to be 50 pixels. I will still leave this at the exact value it is. Then one last thing to do is just to add row reverse believe. So we should change the flex direction to row reverse, because by default, if you come to the flex odd, it's basically stacking everything in one place. So we just need to change the way it's being, or the way it's being positioned. All right, cool. So you can also do some stuff with this. You can see at laptop, desktop screens, the even should have a background color of, let's say, orange or something like that. Then the color should be, guess, black or something. So it depends. Cool, you can see that. So this has one color, this has another color, this has another color. While if we check on mobile and we scale this down, you can see that it basically changes as we move on. I guess I might even leave it like this. This is way finer. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Do leave a like and share if you found the video helpful, and you might as well enjoy this video that is being recommended to you right now. See you next time.